here in Trinidad and Tobago, the PNM says they are the black party, the African party. Well, follow me now. The PNM has ruled since 1956. Out of 64 years, the PNM has had political power, power to appoint, power, judicial power, institutional power, power of the treasury for 49 of 64 years. So the PNM, if you say the PNM is black and African, the PNM has had all of the power and therefore cannot be crying racism, oppression, and comparing to black people in the USA, South Africa, or other countries. See how the whole thing changed when you understand race? Well, let's talk now. So Kamla Persad-Bissessar is accused of being racist. But you all heard our whole statement now for you all to realize it's stupidity. But name one policy that when Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the Indian Prime Minister, was in power, name one policy that she implemented to thwart or oppress black people. You cannot be a racist when you have power to hold back, thwart, oppress, depress, and deny opportunities from the other race that you hate, and you don't do it. You uplift all. You create policies, cabinet notes, jobs for all, computers for all, sport for all, culture for all, education for all, grants for all, roads for all, facilities for all. So your attack loses water, it has no substance. Because when Kamla Persad-Bissessar held the reins of power, there is not one policy that you can point at that is racist or designed to oppress anyone. Let's look at the PNM and Rowley. Look at the PNM. What about the recalcitrant minority? What about the scholarships now to bursaries? What about Caroni 1975 Limited shutting down the economic power to the Indian community? What about right now the open fire cremation issue that went on and plagued this country and was a racist attack on the Hindu community, the Indian community, by the PNM without one iota of science? That's a racist policy meant to oppress. What about the geographic discrimination that goes on right now in the 7 UNC Indian corporations? That is a racist policy. That shows that you're using your power to hold others back. What about the flooding in South and Central Trinidad? When Rowley sees flooding heading south and central, he goes to Tobago. He's never once put boots on the ground. When Indian people flooding, when the lagoons flooding, has not. That could be deemed racist because you're not showing. When Kamla, anywhere, they go Martin flood, Kamla in she boots and washikong, she galoshes and she rain jacket, anywhere in Trinidad and Tobago. You see, when you play race, you have to come with facts. What about Rowley's attack on doubles? What about the family day skit when Rowley sat there and watched red gorillas raping and pulling a yellow sari off of a female? What's that? What about the Mahasaba radio license the PNM thwarted and gave I-95 1 in 24 hours, but the Mahasaba had to go to Privy Council to get the opportunity to own a TV and radio license? What about the Beach High School that they left there and then the Kamla Persad-Bissessar Pandey government had to come in and fix it? What about Ramai Trace Hindu School where Archie went and it remains incomplete even though it was 92% complete? What about the leases for Caroni workers? Even Vasan Bharat, the PNM fellow, had to said that if Kamla was there, the Caroni leases would have been completed by now. Rowley does not do that. He leaves them, does not hand out any, and starts to try to give out land to other people of other races. That's a racist policy that I could point to, using power to oppress another race, to oppress Indian. All you wanted to talk race, Douglas could talk race. But Douglas talk it with facts, with information, history, present, policy, analysis, not stupidity and arrogance. not emotion. What about the desecration of the Mandir? There was a desecration in Karapo of a Mandir in the most vile manner. Did anyone in the PNM speak out against it? To show solidarity with the Hindu brothers and sisters, to show Indian people that the government loves and respects them? No, it was silence. Do you think that would ever happen under Kamla? If any place of worship of any type would have been desecrated, she would have spoken out and condemned it. Who gave the Shouter Baptist School Kamla? Do you know who is Kwame Ture? Stokely Carmichael? Stokely Carmichael was banned by the PNM. You know, Stokely Carmichael, one of the biggest, strongest, best, most intelligent, passionate, brave Black Panther fighters in the USA for rights of African people. He was banned by the PNM from coming home. He left there at 11 years old. You know who allowed Stokely Carmichael to come back and set foot on his land? Bastio Indian Pandey. So when you all talk race, be very careful. In 1970, there was, what was there? The Black Revolution? Wasn't it? 1970? What was that? A fight for black people to get opportunities? Who was the government that black people were fighting against? The PNM since 1956 to 1970. So don't talk race. Now, that brings me to the next point. Do not dare equate the PNM with blackness or Africanness. The PNM is not black and has never supported black and has never advanced black. Dr. Williams was the #1 scholar on the transatlantic slave trade. He knew the deleterious effects, the desecration, the damage of communities, of families, of people. No music, no religion, no culture, no art, no history. What did Dr. Williams do in 30 years to uplift African history in schools, African art, African music, drumming, religion? Nothing! Because he wanted black people to believe that the PNM cult was their religion. So don't talk about black and PNM in the same breath. The PNM party historically is anti-black. They only use y'all, play the race card to say, vote, we love you, so we take good care of you, vote for us. And then they shaft you. Name one black African billionaire made by the PNM over the last 64 years. I can name many of other hues. So don't dare make the mistake and equate PNM with black. Camille is not black. Camille is PNM. Camille attacked Kamla. Kamla clapped back and slammed the door on Camille. And just to let you all know about the PNM, and you all want to talk race, well, let's talk race. Could you imagine in a sweet, beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago, where every creed and race finds an equal place, and with a melting pot of religious tolerance? Do you know that the PNM was in charge from 1956 to 1986 and never put one Hindu in the cabinet? And Hindu during that period made up 28 to 33% of the population. Not one Hindu. You feel alive? Run it, Archie.
For 30 consecutive years, from 1956 to 1986, the PNM ruled this country without a single member from the Hindu community in its cabinet. Ms. Robinson Reggie says that's not true. If that is not true, I will sit down and let her name, for 30 years, let her name the Hindus who were in the PNM cabinets. I will sit down and give her a chance. All right, I thank you very much. I rest my case. I rest my case.
That is the same Camille Robinson Regis talking. What do you all think if a political party that says that they are black African party and they discriminate and hold on and oppress a religion, an Indian religion and a Hindu community for 30 years, not even daring to put one member of Hindu faith in the cabinet, that is abject total racism, because you hold the power to oppress, and you used it to oppress. As you all are thinking, think of one policy that Kamala implemented to oppress black people or African people. You cannot find it because it does not exist. So stop the nonsense. And when you want to talk about racism, I'm just going to put together with Vishnu and Archie and Alan Karim a few examples of PNM in power and PNM racism. Run it.
All the meals in this country, there's nothing different and special about doubles.
How much curry you go eat? How much more prakash you go take? How much more? When they reduce the price of curry and said they reduce the cost of food and the cost of living.
I've watching them since 1995, and in May 2010, when I saw Kamla Prasad Bisesa as Prime Minister, when I saw she chose Anand Ramlogan as Attorney General, when I saw Suraj Rambachan, when I saw Devant Maraj, and all of them is alligator from the same murky lagoon.
Now, hear that racist remark. Hear that racist remark. This is the policy of the PNM. Identifying East Indian. You call the year 1995. Who was the Prime Minister in 1995? Basjo Pandey, an East Indian. Who is the current Prime Minister of this country here? An East Indian. Look, and these are the people who claiming they want to go into office.
They want to put on a mask, and the leader walks out, and then you have one girl from a camp, a former Minister of Health, who is walking in front of a crowd of yellow cheese heads and telling them there's no COVID in this country, and the government's instructions to you is to oppress the country. Walking in front of a set of yellow cheese head?
Yeah.
What's a cheese head, Dr. Rowley? Explain to me. A set of yellow cheese head? Go check anything. Just put in, take your 5-year-old child and start type in Google cheese head / slang term. It is a derogatory term.
Situations where the source of funds cannot be easily verified. Person say, well, I earned this from
touching grass,
pumpkin and baji, and it might be difficult. It might be difficult to. I'm a fisherman. So it might be difficult because the pumpkin and baji might have been sold and eaten, and the fish might have been caught and so on. I don't need any assistance.
And if you think that that is bad, you could go back to the beginning of the PNM. All you didn't know what Dr. Williams said, you may know the recalcitrant minority, you may know some of those speeches. But do you know this one? If Trinidad was a donkey, Penal would be the tail. And if you want to see the people of Siparia, look under the tail. Nasty, disgusting, racist statement of the father of the PNM, who the father of the current prime minister in politics, who is the most vile, disgusting human being to ever sit. And you all want to talk race? Independent Senator Paul Richards, you jump out. There is so much I want to say right now, in the name of my ancestors. What are their ancestors? Richards is an African name. Where that come from? Ghana, Malawi, Nigeria. Where that come from? Somalia? Paul Richards. All of those things you just saw, you had no comment. You had no statement. You said nothing when Rowley made all of those disgusting, nasty, racist statements. You say nothing when the Minister of National Security posts on Facebook, where you always on Facebook, about the UNC vile, racist, and the nasty comments. You never say a word. All of a sudden you want to say plenty now. You are being unmasked. You're a PNM clown. And I was going to say more about you, but forget move Hina. Forget Hina. Let me just say, $852 million of your money lost because Rowley is a dunce. Is that what race is that money? 000100001. What race is that? Disrespect to labor. 3,924 dead from COVID. What race is that? $233 million of your money wasted and flushed down the toilet in Atlantic LNG in the most disgusting manner. When they were told that it was nowhere, it was dead. What race that money was? 200 million on mosquito crack wasted. What race the money was? Central block corruption and wasted money, and now contract gone to a financier, the PNM. What race is that? The refinery bubble that's going on now, that a race in it? Like black or Indian? The 2017 gas price negotiation, what race that was that caused NGC to make a loss? What race is NGC, and what race is the billions of dollars lost? I'm not sure, please tell me. What race is the Cutson Gate now from 726 under Kamla to 320 now and going further down? What race is that? What race is the money that is not going to education? Because we all want to talk, you all like to talk race. You all don't want to talk policy, performance, people-centered governance under UNC, Kamla Prasad Bisesa. All you want to talk race, and okay. What about the no diversification in the economy? And therefore you can't get wage increase because the only maths Rowley know is 1 + 1 = 2. And all the 2 must go by E and he K-Pack flicking small pin on them. Rowley's nasty lies. What race is his lies that come out of Rowley mouth? Every time he lied, the most pathological liar in the history of the parliament. What about the merit list that was thwarted by misbehavior in public office by Keith Christopher Rowley, by the President Paula May Weeks and Bliss Superstar, that has this country in the throes of a crime wave when people are dying left, right, and center? What race is the bullets that killing we people? What race is the people who are suffering when bandits run in their house and tie them up and beat them? What race is the children who are being raped and buggered since December 13, 2021? What race had to do with Venture Credit Union, MTS, and Foster Cummins account, with the SAR and the FIU and the police and the special branch? What race is that? And then I have to open my front page and see calls for Kamla to step down from who? Who is that? Economist Mala Dukaran? What? Who is you, girl? Why? So all those things I just show you, you didn't start a petition for Rowley to step down as the Prime Minister. And you was an economist, and Rowley shattered the economy, match up, 123,000 people lost jobs. The economy gone, gas sector gone, no foreign exchange, none of that. Plus Rowley's nastiness, his lies, his people pulling sari off a woman in a sports day, his racist talk, his attacks on doubles, his open fire cremation ban without science, his geographic discrimination, his disgusting statement, his attacks on Saddam Hussein and Rodney Charles, Fitzgerald Hines talking about women profiteering from being raped. None of them to resign. Kamla must resign because who is you? You fast and out of place. Where you come out?